I attended the Christian Youth Conference in Silver Springs, and on the closing evening, we had a Vespers out in the wooded area past the cabins and the pool, and there would be a circle and there would be a fire pit, and that is where we would have our closing worship. We were each given a candle, a lighted candle, to take along the way. I love looking at a flickering flame. It hypnotizes me. I could just sit and watch it. At a fireplace, I could sit and watch flames dance for the longest and be hypnotized. I realized that if I stood with my lighted candle and just looked at the candle and enjoyed it, I wouldn't be going anywhere. So when I lifted the light up, it put light on my path so that I could see where I was going. So basically, that's what we're going to be looking at today. This is, okay, I'm going to leave that out. I've been watching Leos. Leos comes, whether it's easy for him or difficult, on Sunday morning. But this is a dedicated man. I believe he believes in God. And I believe that when his feet hit the floor in the morning, he is trying to follow in the footsteps of Jesus. I've watched this man come, go to the piano, go to the organ, go to the piano. He loves music. I think he loves his church. When I was in seminary, we had a music class that there are two things about music. The person who is offering it, it is an act of worship, but it's also an aid to worship. And I believe for Leos, it is an act of worship for him, and an aid for worship, and an act of worship for us. I've watched Anna. When Anna entered this church, I could never put my finger on what it was that she immediately was family. She belonged here, and without her, the family was incomplete. I watched her helping Aurora in the kitchen. I tasted her cakes, and we appreciated the food that she donated when we had our church dinners. She hasn't just done those things, she's also taken a part in the ongoing work of the church. And now takes the minutes, something I would not want to do, but she does a great job. And I've watched her. I've watched Kaz and Nancy. They work harder than they want to, I'm sure. Put in more hours than they would like. It's not always easy. It's a difficult thing to do, but they're here because they choose to be here. I think it's important to them. I know it's important to us. I've watched Wayne and Gloria. Who comes to church when they're on vacation in Florida? You sleep in, you go to a brunch or breakfast or to the pool. Gloria and Wayne come to church. And they share with us things that are going on in their home church. And I think when they go back home, maybe they have something from here to share with their church. And their being here is important. It's important to you and me and to them. I've watched Dave and Alice. It's not easy. It's not easy getting here. I probably live closer than anyone else, and I'm still late. But when it's difficult, when it's an effort, but you do it because there's something there that pulls you here. And it's important. It's important to me. I think it's important to them. I've watched Cynthia working too hard, doing more than she wants to sometimes, arguing with God, but she listens. And she does what he tells her to do. And sometimes it's more than you would like. You'd like to not listen, but God is persistent and insistent and persistent, and you do His bidding. I've watched that happen. I've watched Aurora and Alejandro. Have you ever heard this woman say anything negative or complain about the job she does every single Sunday? She provides what we enjoy in fellowship and stays much longer to clean everything up before she goes. The closest I've ever heard her say was, "Do you have any ideas?" Because I run out of ideas of what to bring. But never says anything about the expectations and fulfilling those expectations for all of us. When Angel and Anna appeared last Sunday, I had to stop and wonder, what was it that prompted their visit here? How did they hear about us, this little church? And what courage did it take to walk through doors into a building where they knew no one and did not know what to expect? But they're here. For some reason they're here today. I'm watching. And it is a blessing to me. When Tiana first came, we admittedly don't get too many young people. She's in the 11th grade. What 11th grader comes to church by herself, consistently, contributes, gets into the conversations, and leaves from here with something to take with her through the week, I hope? But I know that her being here is a blessing to me. When Dixie first came, again, she happened in on this little church. And Dixie, if you could have heard Amelia after you sang, because Amelia could not express herself enough on the appreciation that we have that Dixie shares her talent with us. And after she sang, Amelia said she brought us closer to heaven. Or she brought heaven down to us because the angels sang and we were lifted. And she's been consistent. She's offered her God-given talent, shared it with us, and has blessed us. When Lily came, I found out that she has a friend named Connie. There aren't that many Connies out there. And what I noticed about Lily was that when she didn't go to the fellowship hall the first Sunday, but on the second Sunday, she went into the fellowship hall and lingered around the coffee pot because she wanted to be of service. She wanted to do something for somebody. May I pour your coffee for you? May I bring something to you? Already wanting to participate, to give, to offer herself to this congregation. Patrick comes in very quietly, leaves very quietly. When his mother moved, he stayed. When he has an opportunity to bring things to share with you, he puts them in the fellowship hall, and we glean the benefits of his generosity. Comes in quietly, leaves quietly, but he's faithful. He is faithful to this congregation. And Paul will be leaving because he's one of those who comes and goes, and when he's here, we love it. And he also is faithful. When he's in town, he's here. He is a witness to his beliefs. He's not staring at a flickering flame. He's holding it high to brighten the path of the walk. Chuck manages the thrift store twice a week, Monday and Wednesday, without complaint, or at least I haven't heard any. and gives himself totally. It's from 9 to 2 days a week. And he has volunteered to do that, and he has been persistent in doing that, and we appreciate him for it, and he's here. If you have a question, he'll be happy to try to answer your questions and be available to you. I said there aren't too many Connies. Well, there's a Constance. I said I could not believe that in a little church like this, I would find someone named Constance. And a couple of weeks ago, she moved. And the next week she wasn't here, and I was concerned. I didn't know where she had gone. I didn't know if she would have transportation. But she was here the next week. And she's here. I don't know how much trouble it is for her to get here, but she's here. Something brings her to this sacred place. When Brenda lost Ron, Brenda stayed. She's here. Maybe she needs us. We need her. Her presence is a blessing. And she, very quietly, very humble, precious woman who has found what she needs to be lifted up after you've lost a loved one. Chris is another very quiet soul. He's probably thinking she's not going to say anything about me. But we love your being here, Chris. Very quiet. Comes and goes, but his presence is noticed and it's appreciated. When Bill and Rochelle, I have to tell you, I sit in the back and I watch them. These two people are devoted. I watch her just reach over to rub his back or to touch his neck. And it almost brings me to tears because these two people are so devoted. And they're here. And I hope they know how important it is for them to be here. When he had surgery and was not able to come for a while, we missed them dearly. And as soon as he was able, they were here. They brought Martine. And Martine, bless her heart, if you saw her last week, she had fallen. And she had 2 black eyes. And she came to church. What prompted that? What inspired that? I'm hurting. I could stay in bed with the cover over my head and give my body time to heal. This is where she chose to be on Sunday morning. I knew Jack at Faith Christian Church when Marvin was still alive, and we were there, and we knew his lovely wife, Pat. Absolutely wonderful person. And when he joined us here, it was a reunion, and he's been faithfully here. And I know that for some of you, it is a difficult thing to get up on Sunday morning and get yourself to this place. But consistently, I see it happening. And I'm watching. And it is a witness. He still participates on the board. He still offers advice when we need it. I have to tell you what Charlie did that impressed me. I don't think outside the box very much. I'm pretty stuffed into a box. But I noticed that when I was putting out, on Communion Sunday, when I was putting out the name tags, Charlie is responsible for communion on the first and third Sundays. She puts them on the back table in case you forget to pick one up as you enter. If she sees someone without one, she will be sure to bring it to you. But that on Sunday, she brought a handful of communion cups to the table where the name tags are, in case that would be more convenient for you to pick one up. And I was impressed with that, because she was thinking about you, thinking what would be important, a little something that she could do. And consistently. She works with Rick Store. She and Rick work with Rick Store on Saturdays. Another 9 to 2 every Saturday. I know you appreciate it. I hope you let these people know. I haven't volunteered. I figured I need to be at my house getting rid of my stuff. But she's here. She and Rick are here on Saturdays, consistently. I was really concerned about Marvin. Marvin was not here for several weeks, and I called, and I heard his name, but I didn't know if the message kicked in. I didn't know if the voicemail would be there for him. And when I saw him this morning, it was a relief that Marvin's here. He went through, he was on the kidney transplant list and was selected and got that kidney and is here. And when he's not here, he's missed. There's a hole over there where he's supposed to sit. And I bring him his name tag because my husband's name was Marvin. This Marvin is the only one left for me now, and he's here, and it means something. I'll embarrass my son. Chris is here with Holly today, and that's why I'm a nervous wreck, because I didn't know he would be here, and suddenly everything changed for me. I didn't really have a sermon for you today. I wanted you to know that each of you are holding a hand high for me to help my path be brighter, so that I know that I'm going somewhere important, and I won't lose my footing if my light begins to flicker. I don't think the flame will go out, but because you hold yours up high, my path is brighter, and I feel more secure as I travel this road. You are my sermon. You are a sermon to me, and I love you and I appreciate it. And I thank you for being here and worshiping with us. At this time, we receive our offering. And as you know, some of you may leave them whatever you bring, if you bring. You've already brought yourselves, that is your gift. If you have an offering to give and would like to put it in the plate, there is a plate at the table. You may bring it down.